Okay, I'm going to talk about how to make some fake Spanish moss using the same material that you would create a ghillie suit with. I think that this looks very realistic. It's all nylon thread, so it doesn't matter if it gets wet, it won't rot. I used to use cheesecloth to try and create the same look, but it just didn't look very good. So I've been very happy with this this fake Spanish moss. I've made lots of pieces of it, and I'm pretty much replacing all of the cheesecloth I've been using with this type of thing. So what do you need to make some of this? Well, the first thing you need is what is called ghillie thread, and this is thread that is used by snipers or hunters to create camouflage for themselves, so animals or enemies can't see them. It's about 20 inches long. It comes in lots of different colors. This color is called gray, even though it's like what I would call a light green color. This is a darker green called jade, and you can also buy pre-mixed samples. This is called a mossy blend, which is a combination of these two colors plus tan and black. And then this is a darker blend called woodland blend, which is darker greens. Each of these bundles costs about $10, and you take these threads and you tie them to a nylon mesh, which is 1 inch by 1 inch. The bundles each cost about $10, and a 4 foot by 5 foot piece of this mesh costs about $1 too. So in order to make some fake Spanish moss, you'll need a bundle or two of the thread. I tend to use the gray more than anything. I think it is the most realistic looking as far as matching what Spanish moss really looks like. I do mix in some jade, and I do mix in lots of this mossy blend as well. And then, of course, you will need a glass of your favorite beverage as well. So I've done a couple things in order to get started here. First of all, I took a bundle about this big of the gray thread, and I just started breaking off pieces of what are about 10 threads. I call these little bundleettes, and I put the bundleettes on the table and on the back of the chairs, and this just helps me go faster. And of course, I took another glass of wine. And I've also cut a piece of the mesh, and I have hung it from my dining room light here. And this works out great because it provides me lots of light, and it puts it right at the height that I want so I can see what I'm doing. So in order to get started, I'm just going to take one of my little bundleettes, and I'm going to start tying knots. Now, there's two basic knots that you will use. The first one is what I call the pull-through knot, where you take the threads and you fold them in half and you form a loop, and then you push it through and then pull the legs through and pull it like that. So that's the pull-through knot. And then the other knot is called what I call a shoestring knot, which is just the same exact knot that you use when you are starting to tie your shoes. So let's do one of those. So I push the whole end of the strand through, and then I wrap it around and I pull it tight. Now you may ask, well, which knot should I use? And the answer to that is both of them. I tend to use the pull-through knot towards the middle of it so it hangs down and hides the mesh, and then I use the shoestring knot towards the edges. So let's do these again. Let's do a pull-through knot. When you first start doing this, it may be difficult for you to do, but I can tell you that after a little practice, you will be able to do this quite quickly. Okay, that was a pull-through knot, and then let's do another shoestring knot. So I'm just pushing the whole thing through there. Wrapping and pulling it tight. And I'm just going to work my way up from the bottom all the way to the top. I'm going to leave about 4 inches or so of the mesh without the threads, because that's what I'm going to use to lay over the limb of the tree to hold it up. So let's do these again. Here's a shoestring knot. And here's a pull-through knot. Bend it in half, form a loop, stick it through there. And there you go. You just continue right up the whole thing until it's finished. Okay, so this one's pretty much finished. I want to point out a couple things. As I worked my way towards the top, about in the middle, I started adding more of the mossy blend stuff. So I would do like 3 pieces of the gray versus 1 piece of the mossy, and then a little farther I would start doing half and half, and then by the time I got to the end, I was doing only the mossy blend, and I think that adds a organic look to it, so I like that. And then I leave about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches of the mesh uncovered, and that's what I'll use to hang it around the tree. So this is a finished piece of Spanish moss using ghillie suit material. So now let's go take a look and see what it looks like in the tree. Okay, so here's what it looks like hanging in the tree. Looks really cool when the wind blows. I think I've got about 15 or 20 pieces of this up in the tree. And this is what it looks like at night. This is the tree that we've put all this moss in. It looks great when the wind blows. I've wrapped some of the moss around some swamp lanterns so it glows through the moss. But it looks so much better than the cheesecloth. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Thanks for watching.